throughout history, regardless of what religion, spirituality you might follow, there tends to be an overwhelming theme throughout them all that somehow, some way, that divinity is inside of us all, that God is inside of us all. Whatever deity you find yourself resonating with, most of the time there's a significant portion of people that believe that that creator, that deity, that God somehow is inside of all of us. I tend to agree with that, and then I take it a step further and I say, well, if you read the scriptures, many times you're going to read about a final battle, good versus evil, dark versus light, however you want to describe it. But during this final battle, one of the things that we are supposed to make sure that we do not do is go against God. Do not go against the Creator. Do not disown divinity, however you want to word it. However, I have a little bit of a different take to that. You see, because if divinity, if God is inside all of us, well then, when we go against our own gut instincts, when we go against what we know to be true, are we not going against God? If we are going against ourselves, seems to me as though we're also going against divinity. Now in today's world, we find ourselves at a crossroads. It seems as though it's science versus spirit, facts versus truth and knowing. And it's become increasingly difficult to even determine what is true and what's a lie anymore. It doesn't matter what side you're on. The technology alone that exists today with deep fakes and Photoshop and whatever manner of technology you might choose to employ, the point is that many times you don't know if what you're looking at is real or fake, and that realness or fakeness usually is just simply determined by some party political line. Overwhelmingly, doesn't matter, one side's going to claim it's real, one side's going to claim it's fake, and both sides seemingly can produce facts that prove their position. However, when we talk about not going against God and we talk about not going against divinity, then you have to extrapolate that all the way out to realizing that your own inner spirit and that voice that you hear in your gut, not the one in your head, not the brain, not the one telling you to listen to science and facts and logic. Those things have their place. But that's not God talking to you, that's your brain. If you want to hear the voice of God, you want to hear divinity within yourself, it's what you know to be true all the way down in the pit of your stomach, all the way down in your gut. And many times, that knowing certainly is going to go against the facts and the logic and the science that might be being presented to you. So that's the crossroads we find ourselves at. If we truly believe that divinity is inside of ourselves, and if you believe that the voice of your spirit is the voice of God, the voice of divinity, then if you're going against that voice, if you're not listening to that voice, then you are going against God. Now, I'm sure there's going to be disagreements with that, and that's fine. The entire point is to ask questions and look at things from as many different angles as you possibly can to determine what it is that you know, to determine what it is that you believe. And again, overwhelmingly, we find ourselves as a species at a crossroads. Everything is being censored, everything is being blocked, everything is being canceled. If you do not believe in somebody's political beliefs 100%, you are ostracized. If you do not believe in somebody's religious and spiritual beliefs 100%, you are shunned, you are ostracized as well. There's no ambiguity, there's no nuance anymore. Everything is just straight up and down, black and white. And it's getting tiresome for those of us who don't feel that way. Everybody's just getting exhausted with it. You can see it in their eyes when you're out. You go out now and you see people, they seem defeated, fearful, just quiet to themselves, because you just don't know how somebody's going to react anymore. And so now we face this choice. And to many people it seems the choice is obvious. You go with your gut no matter what, and that's the end of that story. And I applaud those people. It's not easy to be one of those people. I speak from experience. I'm going to go with my gut 100% of the time, regardless of what science and logic and facts are presented to me. Hasn't failed me yet, so that's the way I'm going to roll. But for many people, the struggle is extraordinarily real, because for many people, they haven't even gotten to the part yet where they believe God is inside themselves or that they are divine. They think God resides in a church or in their preacher or in their spiritual guru, and they don't have it inside themselves because they haven't acted a certain way or they've done certain things in their life. But we're all just here to learn, and everything that you've been taught about you must act a certain way, everything that you've been told about how to be spiritual, how to be religious, so much of it is just man-made baloney. Seems like a simple word, but it's just the truth. It's just, we've all been lied to on so many levels that it's damn near impossible anymore to find out what's true and what's not. But once you get down to the bare bones of it, if you believe God is in you, if you believe Spirit is divinity, then you know how to answer that question of what's real and what's not, or what's true and what's not. What do you know in your gut? End of discussion. That's it. That is what you have to roll with. You can look at the facts and look at the science and listen to other people's educated opinions as they will tell you. But if it goes against what you feel, what you know in your gut, then don't do it. Because at that point, you're taking that risk. The scripture says, do not go against God. Do not go against divinity. Do not go against the light. Well, if you're holding that inside of you, and it's telling you what you know, and it's telling you what you need to do for yourself, and then you go against it because of some fact or some logical reasoning that somebody else presents to you, you're being fooled, you're being tricked, and you're not going with what you know to be true for yourself, which is the only thing that's going to matter anytime soon. What's true for you? That is the only thing that's going to get you through what's coming. That's the only thing that's going to allow you to have the faith and the knowing that whatever happens, you're going to be okay. So when you're faced today, inevitably, with the decision of whether to go with logic and facts and science, those are all fine things if they agree with what you know to be true. But overwhelmingly, the only way through this is to trust in your own guidance system, one that you have already inside of you. Whether you believe that's God, divinity, spirit, the voice of the universal creator, or you believe it's just nothing at all, you still have that voice. It's still there. You can't ignore it. So, even if you don't want to agree upon whose voice that is or why that voice is there, That's the one you need to be listening to. That's the one that's going to keep you safe, happy, healthy, and carefree, and free from fear. Because at this point, fear is the killer. That's the only thing we need to be afraid of at this point, is the fear of being true to ourselves. Don't let it consume you. Stay true, stay strong, and don't let the darkness win.